take me home. I just want all you gentlemen out there to do something very special for me tonight, and that's to show a little love. Now, you all may do this by taking your wives or your girlfriends home with you tonight and do to them what the oil company's been doing to us all this time.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rollin' round the corner. I can see the sunshine out the rolling. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison.
Walking knee-deep in procrastination, sitting here deciding just what we're gonna do. Doesn't make a lot of sense if only someone knew. Shake 'em down, shake 'em down, shake 'em down.
Now joining us on Coachella Valley Music Show is the fabulous Brad Mercer, who I've known for many, many years. We used to do radio together back in the day at places we won't mention right now. But he's a wonderful radio personality, DJ, a wonderful musician, and also now a filmmaker, film writer, producer, star, director, everything, the whole 9 yards.
Well, we try to cover all the bases.
Yes.
We do. It's great to see you again,
Good
Bonnie.
to see you
It really
too.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
You know,
so let's start with radio. I know we have so much to
sure.
cover.
Absolutely.
When did you first start your radio career?
That was back in 1982. I just
And
got
was
off.
that here?
No, that was in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
I didn't own it, but I managed, might as well have owned it, a comedy club back there.
Because you were doing everything probably, weren't you?
Just about. Running a comedy club is hard in itself.
Yeah,
but we had guys like Jay Leno and Jeff Foxworthy, Rita Rudner coming through.
When they were not huge.
Right. They were out trying to
make it
big. And of course, Jay was a staple in the business, and everybody wanted to be Jay Leno.
Right.
But Jay would call me up. He'd say, "Hey, Brad, can you come over here and plug me in?"
Yeah.
And I would do it, and we got to know each other. And he went his way, I went my way, and then he called me up a couple of times, said, "You want to travel with me?" And I said, "Sure, I can do it."
Wow.
So I opened for Jay for about a year.
So you were doing stand-up also?
Yes. Yeah.
See, I didn't even see. That's another thing you do. I didn't even know that you did that. That's fabulous.
Well, we only have a half-hour show.
Yeah. Okay, I know.
So.
All right. So let's fast forward a little bit. So when did you come to the desert?
I came here in 2003.
Okay.
And by being here, my parents were here, and my father and uncle were at the Palm Springs Follies. And they were there for 11 seasons. Performing, right. In fact, they were one of the stars. And
now, were they singing? Were they musicians?
They did comedy,
dancing?
music, banjos, everything.
Yeah.
And they became a staple over there. And as time went on, my father passed away before his time, really. I mean, but Bud, his brother, is now 100 years old. And he's getting ready to come back to the Follies for their close.
That's fabulous.
And it's just blowing my mind. Here's a guy that, I learned everything from my parents and going on the road and hanging around movie directors and musicians. And I had no choice. I was born into it.
Yeah.
But radio, I went from Jacksonville, Florida to, we were going to be on the Mark and Brian on KLOS. They hired us. And change has happened that quick.
Which happens in radio.
Somebody died,
Yeah.
and Mark and Brian came in, so we went back to Jacksonville, and then their radio station in Birmingham wanted us to come to Birmingham, and you know, everything seemed to be great, except when we woke up in the morning, we were going to be in Birmingham, Alabama. We didn't want to.
Right.
So my radio partner and I came to Fresno, and we owned the Fresno market for 3 years. Went from there to Atlanta. So I covered a lot of territory, Atlanta to Colorado Springs, and then here to Palm Springs.
All over the place.
Right. And the radio market opened up for me, and I just I loved it. But my problem was I wanted to exploit the unsigned artist, the local artists, and play their records.
I just want to hear my songs on the radio, playing them loud like in the studio. Think of what I could do if I had just one song.
The powers that be weren't too hip on that.
Oh, yeah, I got
time.
fired a few times over that.
Yeah.
And so the best thing to do was to put my own show together.
Which is now that's what you've done.
That's what, fast forward, yes. And I have been able to put a 2-hour show once a week that airs on Kicks Hot Country out here, which is 92.1 in the low desert, 96.3 in the high desert. So we're covering both. It's like,
Got it all covered.
yeah, it's all covered. Plus other affiliates around the country can come in and sign on. They'll get the show. They can run the show if they want to. The website is bradmercersbnf.com. That's the website for local talent or other.
Brad Mercer's
bnf.com.
Now, are these only country bands, or is this all kinds of music?
Well, that's a good question, Bonnie, because it is country. You know, country is the new rock today.
It's huge. It's
And
really
it really is blowing up. And therefore, I'm not limiting it to just country. I'll go country rock, country
it's got
blues.
a little country flair in there somewhere.
You can be a rock band that has got a little twang,
and you're in.
and you're in. Look at what Eric Church is doing today. I don't know if you heard his new album or not. It's called The Outsiders. Eric is rocking like nobody's business.
Yeah, yeah.
And but they all are. Aldine, you know, Brad Pitt. You know, get Brad Pitt in there.
Yeah.
He says, well, you know, I sound like Brad Paisley. So, but no, I'm only kidding about Brad Pitt. But, you know, if you're a band that has what it takes to be on the radio and it's mastered for the radio and it sounds good, I'll play it.
And so they would get a hold of you, in contact with you through.
BradMercersBNF.com. That's where they upload their tracks.
And how long has this show been on the air now?
I'm working right now on my 4th show, so
Okay.
we're pretty new.
Okay.
And go to my website and then Facebook. It's Brad Mercer's Bands and Fans.
Okay.
And that's the name of the show, Brad Mercer's Bands and Fans.
Now let's talk a little bit. You also have moved into the movies. Let's talk a little bit about your movie career.
Okay, well, you know, I grew up with guys like Leslie Nielsen and E. Arthur Keene, who's a director who directed a lot of films. He did a lot of the Hawaii Five-O's and Police Stories and all those things. And I hung out with them on the set, learned a lot of things. And I knew that one day I wanted to direct a film. So back in '91, I sat down and wrote a screenplay for Tales from the Crypt for HBO.
Okay.
And they liked it. They were getting ready to produce it. And the rocket scientists over there decided to cancel the show. So I you know, shelved the script for 24 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
My wife, Connie, and I were looking at it one day. And I said, Connie, it's too good to just sit there.
Yeah.
And she says,
You
well,
gotta
where are
do
you going to get the
something with
money?
it.
It costs money to do a, you know,
Yeah.
and I was broke. So I went on Kickstarter.com.
I've heard a lot of good things about that, yeah.
And a lot of big movie producers are doing that today. But I just put up a little synopsis of what the movie was, and I says, look, help me do this
And did you
film.
get responses right away?
I did. And I never thought that I would reach my goal, what I needed to produce this thing. But I went out and I got a lot of local talent here. A lot of them are radio personalities. The star of the movie is Ralph Squalacci.
I love Ralph. He's the
What
coolest.
an
He's
actor.
I told you. I came all the way out here tonight to try this new sushi that you talked about in this ad. Now it says here that you have it. Am I going to get some or not? What do you call it?
It's called Yoi. It should be just about right by now.
He's a great guy.
Valerie Katz.
How come you call me Brad Mercer? I would have done
You
it.
know, I was going to call you, but you were doing that other film with
Okay.
Brad Pitt. And
No, I wasn't doing another film with Brad Pitt. So I want to make sure we cover your music too, because this is a show about music.
Absolutely.
Where are you playing? Where can someone hear you play?
You know, I play in my living room about every other day.
No, but
And I'm working on some other songs, and I'm working on songs with other people. I'm flying to Phoenix to do some work with one of the Gin Blossoms and Michael Moore, who's wants me to recreate one of my songs.
Okay.
And so I'm going there and I'm going to record for 3 days.
Okay.
And see what we come up with. But I'm not playing live much anymore because of the radio show and
You've
the
got a lot on your
movies.
plate right now.
We did a stupid movie too. That's up on YouTube for free. You can see it.
Yes.
It's called CSI Alm Springs. That's Palm Springs without the P and the S.
Okay, and is there some significance to
Yeah,
that?
there is.
Okay.
It's a spoof on CSI Miami.
Okay.
And it stars a lot of funky people.
Yeah.
In fact, the producer of this show, David Ross, has got a part in it.
Okay.
He and I did this scene in it that it will crack you up.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Mr. and Mrs. Smellbad. My name is Jacob, and this is Hershey Kane from the Prings Crime Lab. Your son Pepe, well, he had a really bad day. No, I'm sorry. Your son was murdered last night, and we're really sorry for your loss.
Mr. and Mrs. Smellback, we'll be back when you're a little bit less bereaved.
And Mickey Thomas of Starship is in this stupid film, but you can get it at CSIAlmprings.com. And then it went to Sushi Anyone, which is the name of my newest film. That's SushiAnyoneTheMovie.com. And you can go up there, and if you want to see it, you can either buy one, or we're going to do a screening April 6th at the IPAC in Indio.
Excellent.
And that's at
What
6
time?
o'clock.
Okay.
And it's all free.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Brad Mercer's Bands and Fans, we'll be telling you all about it a couple weeks out.
Yeah. Have you ever? It just seems like you constantly have creative juices flowing, and just things keep you always manifesting something new. Have you ever had like a block or downtime or pounding the pavement where things weren't happening for you?
Yes, writing songs. You can't just sit down and say, I'm going to write a song.
You have to get inspiration. Have something
Inspiration, and a lot of it comes from heartache.
Sure. Some of the best songs.
A lot of the best songs.
Yeah.
Why do you think they go country?
Right.
You know?
Crying in your beer.
That's
right.
right. That's right. I want my truck back. Yeah. You know? But I'll tell you what.
Stay gone. Just give me the
I
truck.
love the new country
Yeah.
today. And Brad Mercer's Bands and Fans is going to give the opportunity for those artists who can't get airplay to get airplay not only locally but worldwide. And you can watch it on you can listen to it on KXCMradio.com. That goes worldwide every Saturday from 2 to 4 Pacific Standard Time.
And now locally again, it's 92.1.
Right, for the low desert.
96.3 high desert.
High desert.
Well,
I hate
Brad,
to stop you, but you got an incorrection.
What's that?
It's 4 to 6, dear.
Oh, what did I say?
You said 2 to 4.
Oh, did I? Hey, keep that rolling. I think that's good. Okay.
so you wanted to the time? Maybe you wanted to change that time.
Okay, yeah, the time changed because
Okay.
the producer of this show said I screwed up. So here's the right time.
Okay.
4 to 6 p.m.
All right.
every Saturday on Kix Hot Country.
Excellent.
92.1, 96.3, and KXCMradio.com.
There's a lot to remember. You have a lot of websites and
Oh, yeah.
stations and phone numbers and
Sure.
things to
I can't remember my own name
yeah.
half the time.
That's well, you know, congratulations to you, Brad Mercer.
Well, thank you, Bonnie.
I'm just so happy to see you doing so many great things and just spreading your creative wings and doing what you love and doing what you want to do, which
do.
Too many people in life don't get a chance to do that. So good for you.
And thanks to you for tuning in and listening to me wherever I am.
Brad Mercer, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
Fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore. 'Cause you are all I long for, all I worship and I adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, baby, I love you.
Coachella Valley Music Show now welcomes the fabulous Brian Nova to the show.
Thanks, Bonnie. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Now, if you haven't heard Brian Nova play guitar, you're really missing out. Tell us where you... Well, let's back up. How old were you when you first started playing?
I was about 9 years old when I first started playing guitar. My father is Hawaiian, so we always had Hawaiians in the house playing music, right. And so that was about then. Ukulele was my first.
Right. And when did you move from Hawaii to Miami?
I was in my teens, young age, and so I really grew up in Seattle. It's where I went to high school and college.
That's kind of a big switch from Hawaii to Seattle.
It is, but it was a good switch. Yeah.
And so when you started playing guitar, did you study privately or did you self-taught?
I took lessons up to about 8th grade or so, and then after that, I actually changed to bass because in Seattle, Jimi Hendrix territory, every band had like 5 guitar players, but no bass players. So I decided I'd probably get more playing time if I played bass. Right. My dad played a little bass, so he showed me how to play.
So when was your first band? When did you put together your first group?
My first group was in high school. I was probably 14, and we had a funk band that had like 5 horns in it. And,
wow.
It was pretty fun, actually.
And what was? Do you remember the name of that one?
Antares.
Oh, okay. And when did you migrate to California, to the desert?
I came out to the desert. It's sort of like an unwritten law now. When sort of like New York to Miami, when you're in Seattle, there's like a certain point in your age group that you have to come to Palm Springs at some point.
Really, specifically Palm Springs?
Specifically, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
yeah. It's like half this valley's populated with Seattleites.
Right,
and it's just because of the weather.
Yeah,
you know,
right. And so, when did you? Now you're touring now, doing a lot of back and forth.
We're on the road a lot these days, yeah.
And who are you touring? Tell me about. You just won a couple Grammys on an album.
I am on a multiple Grammy award-winning record with Arturo Sandoval. We won in 2013 3 Latin Grammys and 1 American Grammy for his album Dear Diz.
That's excellent.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
a lot of great players on it.
Were you at the ceremony?
I was not at the ceremony. I actually had a gig. So
well, that's a good reason not to be there.
Yeah, right.
So tell us about your style. How would you describe your style of playing?
You know, everybody mostly knows me as a jazz player, but I really started out playing funk and rock and roll. And my first guitar heroes were like Stephen Stills and John Fogerty, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
And then on to like James Brown and such. But my style, when I turned about 18 or 19, I made the move to jazz. I got to meet Herb Ellis, and he just changed my life when I had no idea the guitar could be played that way.
So meeting him was the impetus to kind of move into jazz.
A huge one, yeah. I mean, it was. I was dating a gal, and it was her mom that took me to this jazz club. I was underage 19, and I went kicking and screaming. It's like, I don't want to hear a jazz player. Oh my gosh, it's going to be awful. And up there, misty all night long. And when I saw him, he looked like a really old guy, and I thought, he's going to have a stroke before he gets to the bridge. I lay 8 to 5, he doesn't finish it. Yeah. And when he started,
just blew you away.
I have a mark here where my jaw hit the table. Yeah. And I've been chasing after it ever since.
Now I have to ask, did that relationship last with that girl that you were dating?
No. Although we were still dear friends.
Okay.
And we, in fact, her whole family and my whole family are all dear friends. So yeah, but she got smart. She didn't want to marry a musician.
Now you have the Brian Nova Trio, and why don't we bring up Larry Holloway? And he's part of your trio,
Larry
correct?
Is a big part of my trio. Come
fabulous
on up here,
jazz bass player. I understand. Hello.
Hi. How
Welcome.
are you?
This is Larry. So how did you guys first meet?
I moved around quite a bit, starting in Kansas City, Denver, back to Kansas City, moved to Seattle back about 1990, and that's about the time we met. So Brian and I have known each other over 20 years.
Yeah.
We met on a gig. I think you may have hired me, probably, like you have been for the last 20 years.
So this has been a really good collaboration. It's kind of lasted for quite a while.
On and off. There was about 6 or 7 years we didn't play when I was still up there and he was down here.
I kind of made the full-time move here. I didn't get up to play in Seattle much. We do have a unique relationship, though. Okay. So 2 of our mentors, or 1 each, my mentor, Joe Pass, and Larry's mentor, Red Mitchell, they played together as great jazz artists over the years. And Larry plays like Red and tunes his guitar or bass in fifths like Red did, and I sort of still try to emulate the Joe Pass style.
Pass, he was wonderful.
Yeah, one of my heroes.
Yeah.
So we still have that sort of connection as well, not just as hey, we're going to play a gig, but our styles have a lot of history behind them. Where we actually did it was Red Mitchell's after he had passed away. We did
his memorial
in Portland together, and we were sort of the featured guitar player, bass player for that.
Now, who rounds out the trio? Who else is part
Andy
of the trio?
Fraga Jr.
Yes,
you know
fabulous.
Andy?
Yes. We knew his dad.
Yeah. We all
guy.
did. Yeah, miss him dearly.
Yeah. So what's next for you? You're doing a lot of touring, and what else is next on the table for you?
We're looking at recording just in the next few weeks here. We're looking at doing a live recording down at Woody's. And then we're on the road doing some jazz festivals during the summer.
Right.
And we're working on some online education programs for musicians.
Now, is that where you're actually teaching them how to play online?
We're teaching them online.
Okay.
We're doing online video lessons. That we're hopefully we'll go global. We're looking at translating it to 5 or 6 languages.
That's wonderful.
So we're real excited about
So
that.
now, do you do that together or separately when you're sort of as a team kind of? Okay.
Yeah, well, we're all going to be included. We're going to have Larry do bass, and we're going to have Andy do drums. But we're launching with the guitar stuff first, kind of work out the bugs.
Yes. Now Woody's is if you haven't been to Woody's, you really should check out Woody's Burgers and Beer. There's it's a burger place, but then in the back there's this small little smoky room, not really smoky, but jazz, and it's fabulous. And I've heard Mara Getz, I've heard Eve Evans. It's a really great place to go. You have some wonderful.
It is a real gem in the desert.
It really is.
There are very few clubs where we've played that have that sort of intimacy and still serve a great burger.
Right, they do. And I don't eat meat, but they have a great mushroom burger. It's
yeah,
fabulous.
right.
Many
Their veggie
times.
burger's great too.
See, I haven't had that one. I have to try that.
Yeah.
Now, where can folks get your CDs or hear your music online or buy CDs online, or where can they get?
We're on iTunes. We're at CD Baby. We're on Amazon.com. iTunes. Did I say iTunes already?
iTunes, yeah.
CD Baby, Amazon.com. Did I say iTunes?
Yes.
That's right. Again.
Are you getting some money from iTunes? Extra
right.
kickback there. Now, do you write anything original stuff too?
We do. Yeah, all of us have some compositions, and yeah, we all love to write.
Right. Yeah, that's excellent.
People might not want to hear what we write, but we love to write.
And I don't. Do you sing?
I sing a lot. Yeah.
You sing a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Like we have a big band. I have an 18-piece big band I front.
Fabulous.
Singing. So.
See, if you were going to ask me who my favorite singer in the desert was, I'd go, Brian.
Now, are you just flattering him?
Yeah, it's because he's working with me tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Because he's paying me tonight.
I was just trying to get a little raise. I think
actually, no. He's it runs in his family too. His father sings.
Put your hands with my dad, Pete Noble. Once I had a secret love that lived within the bottom of me. Then all too soon, my secret love became impatient to be free.
His brother sings, and they're all amazing singers.
Yeah.
It's probably a whole history of singers in your family.
There are.
Now, is some of your family still in Hawaii? Are they in?
I have a lot of family in Hawaii, but my immediate family is still in Seattle.
Okay.
My dad, mom, brother, they live in Seattle.
Do they come down and visit you often?
They were just down last week.
Yeah.
Dad was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
They were
2 weeks
here.
ago, I think, yeah.
And Dad was singing with us. It was pretty fun.
Now, you've been playing in the desert for how long, off and on? For how long?
I first moved down here in about 2001, and then I moved away for about 5 years up to the Bay Area, and then decided to move back.
Now,
Yeah.
what changes have you seen? Have you seen the music scene change much here along the way?
I have. I've seen quite a few changes. When I first got down here, it was on fire. Early 2000s, and then it seemed to take a little dip. Mid 2000s, and
Do you
now
think that was economy related, or what?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. And now I see it just booming again.
Coming again.
Yeah, I really see it really coming back. There are more places to play now, I think, and not just more places to play, but they're legitimate places to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead of just someone saying, "Oh, we're going to put the band over there by the bench and the water fountain," and they're actually building stages. And
you got Woody's, you got the Purple Room, you got is in our new Copa Lounge. There's all kinds of places they're sort of redoing even. Yeah.
They are, and more come. The Ritz opens, I think, this weekend.
Yeah,
they're supposed
I think
to have
it's
music.
maybe tomorrow or Friday, which has been a long time coming, but
time coming.
We're happy to see them come back. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think you're going to just see a lot more competition amongst restaurant tours up and down the valley where they'll want to bring in more music.
Yeah. And how would you describe the audiences here, the music fans' audiences here in the desert versus some of the other places you go when you're touring? Is there a difference? Do you notice a difference?
Good question. Yeah, there is a difference. It depends on which club you're in too.
Right.
But they'll tend to be more attentive.
Here?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, it just depends on the club. You could play a club in Los Angeles or something where they're attentive, and you could play a club in Los Angeles
where they're not.
you're wallpaper.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But
yeah.
most of the places I played here, it's
Yeah.
a listening audience, which
Yeah.
we really appreciate,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brian Nova and Larry Holloway, thank you so much for being here. It's
Bonnie,
Brian Nova
thanks for having
Trio.
us.
Thank you.
Go on iTunes, CD Baby, get the CDs. Maybe check out Woody's, and you need to hear these guys because they're fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Bonnie.
much.
Are you dinging?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, say 1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
This is Jefferson Starship.
And you're watching Coachella Valley Music Show.
Why this combination of notes and voices and melodies goes into your ears and creates this whatever emotional thing in your brain that's unexplainable. And I sort of given up, sort of trying to figure it out because I figure it's really none of my business.
Thank you for watching Coachella Valley Music Show, and a big thank you to all our guests. We'll see you next time.